it's gonna be like it's gonna be an excruciating week of doing nothing, literally just doing nothing. So yeah, no, it sucks. Losing sucks. Like every competitor that loses understands like it's a blessing and a curse getting so much time between splits because you get to go back home, you get to see your family, but having like no competitive purpose for 2.5 months is horrible.
Does it feel like when you lose and you don't really have anything to do, you kind of, for that period, you lose a big part of your identity?
100%.
Hey everyone, Sejitsu in here. I'm here with NRG's Mada after their series against 100 Thieves. So I guess just quick immediate thoughts. I know it just happened, but what kind of led to this result today? Because map 2 looked really close.
Honestly, I feel like I kind of let it slip. Like looking back, I feel like the last few sequences of rounds, I feel like there's a lot of things I could have done better, and I made like pretty crucial mistakes that like led us to the loss. So I would say like I'd put a bit of it on myself, or most of it on myself.
What are those crucial mistakes, if you can talk about that?
I was kind of just like getting caught out. Whether that was like in my position or walking up, I was getting caught out. So it's just pretty frustrating because it's not normal for me.
So it was kind of more micro mistakes versus like the actual macro team play.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're kind of making those mistakes because it's just your first time in playoffs and under pressure?
I don't think so. I think I really don't know what it is. It feels like just couldn't get a feel for the game today. Definitely wasn't nerves, but every play I tried to make, just looking back, wasn't like the greatest play at the moment. So kind of sucks.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting because I think this is the first time I've seen you describe it that way, where you're making mistakes that you normally wouldn't. Because even when you came on your first stage game, you talked about how you didn't really feel nervous, and I imagine that's because of like that swimming competitive background. I guess my question for that, more so when you kind of have moments like this where you're noticing mistakes in yourself, what's the process for you to be able to analyze those problems and then be able to come to resolutions quickly?
Well, I think the first step is analyzing it, like you said. And I think if you have the ability to acknowledge your mistakes and learn from them, then that's all you really need to do. Just reflect on them, and you won't make the same ones twice.
I'm genuinely curious because you're talking about like these mistakes more. Were there ever moments back when I feel like in 2023 that was kind of a growing year for you as just a player, and then you leveled up in 2024? What was the process for you to kind of fix your gameplay there, and do kind of those things still remain the same in 2025, or is it more refined?
I think 2024 was not really the year I leveled up, but the year I found my footing. Just like my identity as a player, and I think it's still there, but it's kind of like this is one of the first times where I felt like the plays I was making were very not like just not very thought out in like the long term of the round. So it's very disappointing, honestly. That's about it.
Yeah, it's because it just feels very out of character, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So then just talk to me about, you have this period of time away from things. I think like a 2.5 month period. What would you be up to during that?
2.5 months, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually don't know. That sucks. That actually sucks. 2.5 months is crazy. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fair. I imagine just at least staying in California and stuff.
No, I'll probably go back home. Visit my parents back home, see them for a bit, just take my mind off the game, and then I'll come back and just play more.
Because in Moisa MXS, you were in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
So then was this kind of your first period away from home?
In terms of like,
pro player, yeah.
I've traveled for playing like for months at a time, but never like living outside of Toronto.
What's that kind of been like for you, like the past few months?
It's been fine. I'm a pretty self-sufficient person. So I enjoy having my own like space, my own privacy. I think I'm a pretty responsible like adult, and yeah, no, it's nice. Like I enjoy it, to be honest, but it does suck being away from family.
Yeah. I think when you talk about self-sufficient, responsible adult, is that kind of stems from before with this like your regimented schedule back when you were a competitive swimmer in high school?
No, no, I think I was just it's just how I was raised by my parents.
They instilled like a really disciplined work ethic.
Yeah.
What would be your next immediate steps to kind of just process for the next week?
I don't know, bro. I really don't know. Like I'm sorry, I can't tell you. This is gonna be like it's gonna be an excruciating week of doing nothing, like, literally just doing nothing. So yeah, no, it sucks. Losing sucks. Like every competitor that loses understands like it's a blessing and a curse getting so much time between splits because you get to go back home, you get to see your family, but having like no competitive purpose for 2.5 months is horrible.
Does it feel like when you lose and you don't really have anything to do, you kind of, for that period, you lose a big part of your identity?
100%.
Is this the hardest loss you've ever experienced in your career, or do you feel like the Ascension was tougher? Or the going possibly qualifying for Ascension?
I think that was probably pretty equal to this. I mean, I've said it so many times, and I know the casters say it all the time, but this is like my only chance to play in front of a home crowd, play in front of my family, my friends, and yeah, it's taken away.
Yeah, I actually didn't really even think about that. It would have been, I guess, from a human perspective, it would have been just amazing to be there and all that.
100%.
I won't hold you for too much longer. I just wanted to give you the closing remarks to people that are, fans of your career. And then, just anyone to the fans. Do you have any message that you want to say to them before we send you off for about like 2.5 months?
I definitely, sorry, how do I hold this thing? I thought it was like an actual mic.
Nah, I'll upgrade it, split too.
I definitely see all your guys' messages. A lot of people message me on Twitter, Instagram, every social media platform, and don't think it goes unnoticed. I might not respond to everyone, but I'm not a very active person on there, so I appreciate everything. I see it on my phone all the time, and when you guys show love, it actually means the world. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.